Hello, people. Today I'm just gonna work on Mono FM, and I have a few to-do items that I was thinking of doing live, and here these are like 4 or 5 items that I want to finish today. Yeah. So let's get working. So the first thing that I want to do is that. So I have some code base set up that allows me to create podcast websites for every user. And right now it looks something like this. Let me just create okay. Running at 800. Yeah, so what right now happens is that, whoa, is that because of this? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah. So right now what happens is that when any user creates a new podcast, we give them this kind of website page, and it has the Apple Podcast link and Spotify link and Google link and all the other things that they want to share. And also we have this recent episodes, which just gives you a list of all the recent, I think the most recent 5 or 6 episodes. But recently, some users have requested that we give them a separate page where everyone can just see all the episodes of this. So I want to have something like /episodes, which will just give you a list of all the episodes that are available. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Template HPS. I think I need to create a new template episode. Let's say episodes.hps, and then I'm gonna copy some of the things like that. So this is fine. And then I'm gonna move this to index, maybe not this one. Let's just copy this to episodes.js, right? And then in my package.json, I can just say episodes.js. That should be working fine. And I have this thing. It's probably inside source. And if I refresh, seems to be fine. But now I think I can change a few things. One is, let's change this to say something else. By, let me just test this thing quickly. This thing is actually working. Huh, doesn't work. I think package.json. Okay, so I'm just going to change, not this one. Oh, I think that was working. The problem was that I did not change the episodes.js, and this thing will become episodes.hps. So in this case, by template hps by test. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting this testing. That means I'm rendering the right template. Then okay, so let's first try to make the mobile layout, which will be easier to do. So let's say this is the episode page, and what we want to do is we want to say, how about this? Oh. My camera kind of keeps on disabling itself. All episodes, something like this. I don't need the author. I don't need the category. To Excel. We don't even need the description. And this thing, we don't need this. And yeah, I think that's all. Maybe we don't need the title here. And maybe this can go before this thing. How about this? Okay. and then we go to episodes, and then in this episode, let's just paste a few more like that, and then also this should become a link then. Title SM hidden. Okay. So that's why you had that thing. Hidden SM block. Text3XL. Doing like that. I think this is fine. I like this. I kind of don't like this, actually. Paste this thing. Oh, what the hell did I do here? So what I want to do is I want to have like a button called view all episodes. And then that button should take you there, right? So cannot get index. The problem that I have right now is that somehow, okay. So right here, I would like to show like view all button. I'm gonna have a button here. Okay, let's change that. Dev episodes. undev this thing. So this is the main page, and let's first change the main page. So I go to template and there's this recent episodes. So I'm gonna have maybe a link, right? Maybe a link to episodes, view or episodes. Okay, it should be here. Okay, and then let's do it like this. No, let's do it like this, and then make this thing a flex. Item center, justify between. That is fine, which also means that this shouldn't be text SM, and maybe font medium case, and this thing can be px2 ui1 border grade to 300. Rounded, text SM maybe. Go get some Heroicons dev. Link. View all list. How about link? Just copy this one. View all. Fill none and span this thing. View all episodes, and then we can remove that. Make this flex item center, justify between, right? Class h2 w2 h4w4. How about we just say arrow, right? Yeah, this one is fine. Class h4w4 should all be fine. Items end, maybe. Items start, nope. Items center. Basically letting none. Yeah, letting was the one. py2. View all episodes. px3. And some people have suggested that my buttons don't look like buttons, so let's make this like a button. Shadow SM. And hover shadow. Okay. So this actually goes there, which is pretty good. And then that seems to be fine. What else can I do? So this page will basically take you to the episode page, and then we will set up another template, handlebar template for the episode page. And these buttons, actually there's a to-do for that. Someone told me that these buttons do not look like buttons, so they should be more like a button. So let's do that. Link, let's copy this one, and if you go to listen in, you do that, span, do that, and instead of block, let's make it flex item center, justify center. Uh-oh, my brother is calling me. Okay, add some height and width to this thing, and maybe ML1. And maybe text gray 400, 500. Okay. And then flags, maybe letting none on this thing. And then py2. Yeah. And the same thing, I think it doesn't look like a button, so let's add some shadow on it. And when you hover, we're gonna add some bigger shadow to this. Come on. Uh-oh. You know what? Uh-oh. Why? Let's make this and shadow MD. How about shadow LG? And then transition duration 150. Make it kind of nice, slow. Yes. Right. And then space, maybe double the space. Too much space. I think maybe it's too less. How about we make this thing transparent for now. Not good. Not good. Doesn't look nice. How about body grade? 200, 300, 400. Okay. 400 seems to be fine. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, so next thing we want is, let's copy this template and we will paste that thing here again. And now let's work on the dev episodes thing. Okay, so yeah, this one will have more list items. Maybe we don't want this, all this information. So description. Why is this description twice? Oh, because one is the episode description. Okay, so yeah, maybe we don't need the description. Instead of recent episode, this will be all episodes, and there will be no button. Actually, we need the button to go back. And category, we don't need any category either. And what else? By, we should keep it. Dang out loud. View all episodes. Now this thing should become like a bar. So this all episode thing, justify center, let's say, let's keep it here for now. And this all episode thing is not going to be this, right? And maybe instead of this view all episode, this link will just take you to the main page, back to home, and then this will actually be left kind of like this. Something like this, right? Okay. And also, I think we can move this thing somewhere above. this thing is actually flex justify between, which doesn't make any sense. Kind of like that. And it will just take you back to home. Now that I think about it, I don't know why I have a separate page for this. And also, I don't really like this button, but let's keep it for now. This takes you to my landing page, which is fine. All these go to their own pages, and this will go to the podcast page. That seems to be fine. Okay. Back home goes to the back home, and then you can just listen to that here. This will give you all things. Let's also check out the mobile page. Make sure. Oh no, this is not good. So we don't like this. Back to home. We don't like that. How about we make it hidden and only appear on this thing? And also, I think how about we delete all of this? We don't need, yeah, I think we don't need to show all the links and everything. Yeah, but we kind of do. If we just do this, it doesn't look really nice, but it gets the job done for now. And I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to spend too much time on this thing. This goes here. Okay. Yeah. Although the design is kind of shitty, I'm just gonna leave it at this because I have to redesign this thing anyways in future. Okay, now I have this template HPS and this template thing. Okay. All I have to do is, so I think this one is kind of done. And this one is also, I just did that, made it more obvious. And then the next thing is that I update this thing. Okay, let's work on this thing first. So what I have just done is kind of half of the work. Now that I have this template, the next thing I have to do is to deploy this template to my backend, which will automatically create these kind of websites for every user. So that is a separate thing that I might do offline. And the next thing I want to do is update the block and doc styling. Okay. Add episodes template. Okay, that is done. The next thing that I want to do is mono app, go here, and then not mono app, no, mono site, this one, and just get this thing running. And what I want to do is update the docs and update the doc styling. Okay, this is running. Okay, localhost 8000, and this is my website running locally. Now what I want to do here is, so if you go to blog or docs, this is not ready yet and it kind of looks shitty. And the first thing is I want to move the styling of this thing. I want to update the styling. But the problem right now is that I think the doc is using Markdown. Huh, I'm actually using Prose. Actually, I'm already using Prose and I just didn't realize that. Oh, this is not this one. And blog. Well, seems like I already have the blogs. Okay. Huh. You know what? Good. I don't have to do this. Okay, so the next thing in that case is actually this one. So I think this is already done. Now, next thing is that I have to add docs for adding Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So, yeah. So the way I add new documentation is I just go to docs and start adding. So let me copy this first to submit to Apple Podcasts index.md, right? And how to how to submit your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and others. Right, and this thing is going to be published on 8/8/0/0/0/0. This, actually, you don't need description. Okay, now that you have this, I'm sure this will come here. How to submit your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and others. And then in this thing, this article will explain how to submit your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and others. Okay. Like that. So I actually have some documentation steps already prepared. And okay, so time to do some markdown. Spotify, and then this will be Google Podcasts, and this will be Apple Podcasts, right? And first thing is I kind of need this. And this will be that will be like that. And copy this, paste this thing here, like that. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to have some photos as well. Okay, let's see. So what actually happens is that if I go to my backend panel, you can see that I'm logged into my web app. And here, what people have to do is to just, when they create a show, they have to like test or whatever. And when they just click submit, they get this kind of page. So we need to copy this URL and then we have to follow these instructions to go to Apple, Spotify, and Google, and then get it. So let's kind of polish this thing up a bit. Feed URL. And then this will be Apple ID. Or create one. Right. This article will explain how to submit your podcast. Apple Podcast, copy the feed URL. Prerequisite. I think we need a prerequisite. Prerequisite. Is it? What is it? Like that? How do you add a markdown note? Isn't it like this? Prerequisite. How do you add a warning in Markdown? Markdown cheat sheet. Warning note. Note in Markdown. Highlight. Highlight. Warning note in Markdown. Oh, it's kind of like this, is it? Oh yeah, tip. Note. How about this? Note. No. Note. Right? Oh, it doesn't work. What did I miss? Like that. I think this doesn't work. Like that. Can I like not just do this and just do that? Okay, let's make this important. I kind of like it. Yeah. Okay, click get started, and then this will be like this. Paste in the link to your podcast. Just feed your feed URL. Your feed URL. This article will explain how to. Yeah, that's the most boring doc ever. But you know, it's not that bad. It's responsive, and it can do all the stuff. How do I do warning? Tailwind prose typography. Let's look at some source here. Styles. Strong. HR block coat. H1H3 pre-code. Margin. What I want to do is warning yellow note. Really, if I do this, no, I kind of like this. Pre-code markdown, add link. Dun, 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 dun. Well, if I copy this, will it render like a link? Let's see. No. Oh, wait. You have to do this too. No. Well, that is kind of complete, even though it's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. So let's check this thing in, and I think the name should be how to submit podcasts. GST, GAA, GST, add submission docs, and when I commit it, it will automatically publish this new doc to my main site. Okay. This is fine. That means if I go to MonFM, go to documentation, soon there will be one more doc there. Other than that, I still have one to-do item left, which is this. So right now, actually, let me show you. So right now, when I create a new episode, let's say I go to the show and I create a new episode, there is currently no feature to add a custom artwork in this episode. But I'm gonna change that and maybe add a new kind of a button here to create a new artwork for this thing. But yeah, so I guess that's it for today. Hey, look at that. Now we have some documentation. Yep, I think that's it for today. Man, my camera is so fucked. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm gonna close the stream now, and maybe I'll catch up later again. I'll restream maybe today or tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.